Well, might as well do a hentai review. Hello, fellow people. Welcome to my humble abode. So today we are going to look into a hentai manhwa named The Sharehouse. Now, if you don't know what hentai is, dude, bless your soul, but get out of here because yeah, you're too innocent. Now that I think about it, I'm gonna age restrict this shit. But hey, I'm here to review the plot of hentai manhwas, not review the flipping artworks. If that was the case, I would have given it a solid 7 and ended it right there. But yeah, at times you get captivated by a certain plot thing in these hentais rather than, fat materials alone. So you could consider the Sharehouse in this section. Look, I came for the boobies, I stayed for the plot, and ultimately regretted my fucking life choices. Anyways, The Sharehouse is a hentai manhwa by Team Serious. Manhwa meaning a Korean alternative of manga, like Tower of God, except this one's a hentai. Oh, by the way, it's an NTR, Netorare, if you know. Oh, you don't know? Okay, I'm sorry, but there's no NTR restriction option over here, or else I would have done it already. Like, I don't want to drag you guys into the hellhole that I am in right now. I don't know why I read that shit, but somehow every time I get dragged into that shit. God damn it. I guess I might have an addiction to NTR. Let's get into the story then. The story follows Julian Jung, the normie kinda hardworking guy in his 30s, who works in a Starbucks of sorts. While deeply regretting his life decisions, he enjoys certain parts of it where he, peek at girls' boobs or something. And then his life changes when the resident Ho proclaims that he made her pregnant. After denying these claims multiple times, his colleagues took the Ho's side, even though they too place their meat in the oven once in a while, And so he took the girl for his wife and the unborn child whom the Ho claims to be his as his daughter. So the Ho, Hannah, let's just call her by the name, turned out to be a rich brat and wanted Julian to meet her mother. He agreed, and lo and behold, the mother looked like his first crush named Jasmine. But it wasn't Jasmine, or so he thinks. It was Jessica. Jessica was like his age, and Hannah was in her 20s, and Hannah's father was dead. You know what that means? Back to the plot, Jasmine was like, "Marry my daughter." Julian was like, "Okay," and does that. And also, we meet Hannah's aunt, Ariana, who works in the shop. But not to worry, she will only come into relevance in the later chapters. So, the two gets married and lives in with Jessica. Hannah gave birth to her daughter Rosie, and the loving family angle was set up, if we don't consider the wet dream that Julian had for his mother-in-law. But Julian became even more of a hard worker as he joins in with Jessica to help in their coffee shop. Hannah attended college and everything looked fine until one day Jessica and Julian came back early to their house and saw Hannah fucking her professor in front of their kid. Let me repeat, in front of their goddamn kid, for Pete's sake. Oh boy, do I have a lot to say about that bitch. But for the sake of continuity, let's just leave it right there and we'll talk about her later. So yeah, they found out and Jessica threw her out and Julian was devastated. Not because of the throwing out, but yeah, you get it, right? Fucking in front of their child. Yeah, crazy bitch. Hannah was like, "Oh, I know you don't love me and stuff." Bitch, please. That doesn't fucking... I'm sorry. We'll just continue on with the plot. Okay? Anyway, as I said, Julian was devastated and stayed in drinking, while Jessica took care of Rosie. Few days later, Julian was gonna get out of the house with Rosie since he didn't belong there anymore. Made sense. But Jessica stopped him and begged, which made Julian to think otherwise and he stayed back. So yeah, Julian's life progressed slowly but steadily and he returned back to the shop for work. And in comes Ariana. After his divorce with Hana, that bitch, Arya was like, fuck it, and pounced upon Julian and started having a fling with him. And as time passed, Julian became happier. And in due time, the fling turned into an on and off relationship. Good for you, Julian. Psych. What happened, you ask? So one day, Arya came up to him and said that she had a surprise for him that night. And that night, she took him into her Porsche? Sorry, it's Porsche in the comics. And took him into the apartment where she lived with her friend. And surprise, surprise, it's the girl in the Starbucks. Yeah, in the beginning, when the bitch came in and proclaimed that she was pregnant, there was one girl whose boobs he peeked at. So it was that girl. Her name is Violet Kang. And she reveals the fact that Arya cheated on him with her past fling. Arya tries retaliating, but our man here goes full on beast mode and fucks Violet right in front of Arya like a punishment of sorts. He brings forth his silent inner sadist and then got the fuck out of here. Then the stuff got a bit awkward between them. But they reconciled as Arya flashed back to her past where her husband cheated in front of her just because she was infertile. And to get revenge against him, she fricked every other guy and became a man-eater. But now she loved Julian and he loved her back and everything was fine and dandy in our protagonist's life. And psych! So one day, Jessica caught Julian cheating, even though technically it wasn't, and they got into a fight. But it seemed like she didn't knew that it was her sister-in-law who fricked Julian, so it was kind of fine, I guess. However, Julian fought back and said that he was a divorced man and he had the right to be happy with whomever he wants, and that again made sense. He stormed out of the apartment and went to Arya's where she just had to reveal that Jessica is Jasmine. Okay, flashback time. Jasmine is his childhood friend come crush, but she considered him as a little brother. They lived in a village. She had a pen pal from the city who turned out to be Arya's brother. Yep, he forced himself upon her. And our dude saw them and thought she was enjoying it and ran away. Jasmine got pregnant and moved away from the village and changed her name to Jessica. And she didn't fulfill a promise or something. But yeah, that's not important. And as they say, good things doesn't last for long, and Jessica actually knew about Arya and asked her to stay away from Julian for their sake. And Arya being Arya, she did that. She came back for one last time to give the Porsche. I don't know how to pronounce that shit, but anyway. She didn't wanted her sister-in-law to suffer because of her, since she came to know that she loved him. You know, Jessica loved Julian. And Arya kinda knew that Julian had a crush on Jessica. So yeah, she left him. Now, back in the apartment, he's like pinning blames or something and saying that Jessica can't satisfy him and stuff. I might be wrong on that, I don't know. But what I can say for sure is that the sick dude puts his fucking child as leverage and forced himself upon Jessica. Yep. What made it worse is the fact that he did it despite knowing the past. So yeah, he raped his crush that actually loved him. Why, Julian? Why? So in the end, they are like in love or something, and they moved to Bali, where Jessica announced her pregnancy. It kinda hit the sweet spot of good endings right there, but it just had to ruin. It just had to go to fucking dumpster shit right there, right back in the end, because they ruined it where he gunned his dick on the new maid. Yep, trash is always gonna be fucking trash. So yeah, pretty realistic story, I believe. But if you are to review this piece, we gotta dissect each characters. So that's what we are gonna do. Julian, if you ask one word description of him, I would just call him an asshole. Sure, there were times when I sympathized for the man. I mean, seeing his wife cheating on some old dude with his child on the scene would be pretty horrific. I can kinda understand his sadistic side being brought out with the Arya and Violet scene, and him breaking down multiple times are kinda relatable too. But that's where the familiarity ends. Yes, that's it. The dude's manipulative and malicious. He doesn't give a shit about his own child and used her as a bargaining chip and raped a woman. Sure, Jessica loves you, but that doesn't mean that you can do that. The guy doesn't even have the decency to think about the trauma that she might have had after Arya's brother raped her, and to think that he imagined her enjoying the rape. And to cap it all off, he made it pretty sure in the end that he's about to cheat on Jessica as well, with the maid. He could have been a nice man. He could have ended it well, but no, he had to be the trash that he is. He seems to think as if he understood Jessica's struggles, but he didn't care about it. If you were to ask me about something worse about this series, it would be him. And now, speaking of worse things, yup, that bitch. Julian doesn't hold a candle to her when we are to talk about the worst piece of shit. On top of cheating, she did it in front of a child, which is just as sick as Julian using Rosie as he did. And then to blame it on her character. Like, people can change. Look at Arya, for instance. She changed, you just didn't want it to. Because you didn't care about your husband or child. That's fucked up. You can't even blame on circumstances because you had a loving mother. Hannah is just an entitled bitch. But I don't want to talk about her anymore. So let's talk about the female protagonist with whom I couldn't imagine shipping Julian with. I felt no chemistry between the two from the beginning. It was just a relationship out of convenience and for mere plot movement. Sure, I sympathized over the hardship she had to face, but that's it. I can only feel sympathy for her. She lacked the main character charisma. Look, if she was the secondary female protagonist, I'll give her full marks. But think about it. She forced her sister-in-law to back away from Julian just because she loved him. Didn't even give Julian a fucking option. I just can't imagine her as the main character. And this gives me a segue to introduce my favorite character of the series. Now, Arya is the only character that I can imagine shipping Julian with. If you ask me, she should be the main female character. I mean, why not? Her character developed significantly from the beginning of the story, from the man-eater to the caring person she became. Sure, she cheated on Julian in the beginning, but I'd like to believe that it was before they became an actual thing, not after. And still, she regretted her decisions. She bettered herself. She committed fully towards her love that she had for Julian. Circumstances made her what she became back then. That's something different from Hannah. She didn't have that sort of circumstances, but Arya can definitely say that. But she womaned up and made an effort. And when she came to know about her sister-in-law's feelings, she willingly stepped away, sacrificing her love. She even rejected Julian's offer of eloping since she cared about her family. Like, she is the real protagonist of this series. I would have given her a better ending, dude. But yeah, that end wouldn't be able to show the sacrifice that she made for her love. Now, if you asked me to give out a negative on her, well, she cheated on Julian. But that would be it. There's still something bugging me though. I still don't get what was the surprise. Like, I guess I'm an idiot, but really, what was it? Was it the threesome with Violet? Was she gonna introduce Julian to Violet and finally put an end to her past and bring up a new clean sheet, to her life? Because I remember her saying that Julian fucking Violet wasn't what she wanted. So yeah, there's that. Do tell me your hypothesis. Damn, I'm speaking as if we were analyzing some science shit. Well, I guess manga is the ultimate science then. Well, sorry, I fucked it up. I meant manhwa is the ultimate science then. So, there you go. That's my review. What could have been a possible 8 to 9 out of 10 will be reduced to 6.5 to 7 out of 10. Yeah, because of obvious reasons. Now, if you are interested in NTR and are degenerates like yours truly, do give it a shot. You might appreciate it. And I'll bid you farewell. Goodbye, fellow enthusiast. See you another day when I read another manhwa that I might not jerk off to. Matane. Yep, that felt weird. Why did I have to do that?